So there's never been a moment in history when it's been better to start a photography business or to really vamp up the one that you already have. With the rise and advancement of artificial intelligence, there's a lot of free things out there that we can use at our disposal to make our lives a lot easier, a lot better. Today I'm going to give you a few different examples of how I utilize ChatGPT and how you can too. And the best part of all, it's all completely for free. So that way you can really start leveraging your photography business. Or if you're just starting out, you can really hit the ground running. And in today's video, you're going to see that I'm going to be using GPT 3.5, which is the free version. But the first example I want to give here, my background is primarily in marketing and advertising, at least over the past 5 years. So one of the most important things you can do as a business owner, it doesn't matter what field that you're in, is to come up with a marketing plan. So you might tell ChatGPT something like, help me to create a marketing plan. I am a portrait photographer from Southwest Virginia. And then essentially what it's going to do is take the information that you gave it and help you to come up with a marketing plan. Now, some of these things are probably going to be things you've heard before, but it's going to help you kind of get some more information on the order of things to do and just make sure you have all your bases covered. Now, if there's a section here that you don't know quite as much about or you'd like more details on, then you can ask ChatGPT to elaborate on those sections. So I would agree with everything that ChatGPT has come up with at this point, but let's say, for example, define your target audience. I could say something like, can you help me to define my target audience? And think about this like a conversation. You just kind of keep things rolling. If you don't know the answer to a question or you need more information, you just ask it that, and you can just keep going and going with these conversations. Now, while we're on the topic of marketing, let's also add in advertising to that. Let's say you've got a social media page going, you've started to build a small following, but you're ready to start doing some Facebook and Instagram ads. So you could tell ChatGPT something like, give me some ideas of possible social media ads I can run to promote my portrait photography business. So what it's going to do here is show a variety of different ads that we can do. So portfolio showcase ads, behind the scenes stories, client testimonials. So it's going to give us a lot of different examples of things that we can do. Now, moving out of marketing for just a second, I have another great idea you could do. You could also use ChatGPT to help you with location scouting. Now, mind you that the ChatGPT free version only goes up to 2021. So there may be some new locations or things that it doesn't necessarily know about that you would have to have the paid version to find out about. So what it's going to do here is find a couple of different things that are in this surrounding area that I just gave it. Not only is it going to tell me specific locations, but it's also giving me a little bit of a description about them. And then from here, what I can do is take these different locations that it's giving me, and I can go look those up on Google and see exactly what they look like. So this gives me a really good basis in my research to find out about all these new locations. Of course, you could look up other portrait photographers in your local area and kind of see some of the places they're shooting as well. But this might give you a few extra places that people aren't already going to, so that way you can differentiate the look of your photos from everybody else. Another useful tool with ChatGPT, and this kind of goes back to the marketing just a little bit, but you can actually use it as a powerful resource to help make sure that you're showing up above everybody else. So let's type into something like, so now what it's going to do is exactly what I just asked for. So what it's coming up with is keywords that I should be using based on the fact that I'm a portrait photographer, the location that I'm at, and so that I'll hopefully show up first. So then what we can do is look up these keywords in Google search and see what's already coming up so we can get an idea of what our competition's going to be. So not only is this going to give us the keywords that we could potentially use on our website, our blog, our social media pages, or wherever else the SEO is going to be useful, but this could also help us for Google search advertising, our Facebook and Instagram target markets and advertising. And also, if we look these things up in Google in our area, it's going to show us our competition. So then we can look at our competition and see what they're doing and see what things that they're doing correctly that we can apply. Not necessarily that we're trying to completely overtake them, but there's no point to reinvent the wheel, because if something's working for someone else, it's probably going to work for you as well. Now, keep in mind that if they are ranking very high for some of these keywords, it might be difficult for you to rank for them as well. So that's where a lot of paid advertising is going to come into play. And one last example I'm going to put in here is to help me come up with revenue ideas. Let's say you're a portrait photographer, and in your mind, the only way that you can make money from your portrait photos is by taking more portraits. But let's say there's some other means out there that maybe you don't know about. But I'm going to say something like, give me some ideas of how I can make more money with my portrait photography business other than simply taking photos. So now what it's going to do is teach us how we can expand our photography business. So now it's offering us options like photography workshops and classes. We could sell photography products, photo booth rentals, restoration, graphic design. You get the idea at this point. So if you're ever at a point where you kind of hit this creative block, you hit this wall and you can't go any farther and you need ideas, ChatGPT is a great resource for things like that. And not even just for revenue, but just so many things. And you can apply these to your life outside of photography as well. And I get it. There's a lot of negatives surrounding the world of AI right now. There's a lot of fear and there's a lot of uncertainty. But one thing that I can say is there's a lot of AI out here that is very useful and beneficial to us, at least at this given time. And it's one of those things, while it's available and it's helping you, I think it's a great resource that you should definitely be taking advantage of. But I'd like to hear from you some of the AI resources you're using for your photography business or just your life in general. Have you been using ChatGPT, or are there other things out there that you would recommend? Let us all know in the comment section below. But I hope you enjoyed today's video, and as always, be sure to create something new today.